how Asian female golfers took over women's golf and left everyone powerless. 20 years ago, the leaderboard of women's golf was dominated by legendary American and European pros like Annika Sorenstam and Laura Davies. Asian players were few and far between, barely making a ripple. But then, almost like a quiet storm building momentum, something started to change. A wave of Asian female golfers, particularly from South Korea, Japan, and China, started to rise, not just to compete, but to dominate. The LPGA Tour was never the same.
The LPGA. Few names resonate more than that of Laura Davies, with a career spanning over 3 decades.
Lauren Stone. Yeah! Oh my! Birdie for this 24-year-old.
So what happened? How did these players, seemingly from nowhere, upend the status quo of women's golf? What's their secret? But to understand how things changed, we need to rewind to the 1980s and early 1990s, an era where women's professional golf was dominated by familiar Western stars like Betsy King from America with her 6 major titles, or Laura Davies from England, a force on the course with her 4 major wins. Then there was Annika Sorenstam, the unstoppable force, with a jaw-dropping 10 major championships to her name. Back then, every tournament felt like a celebration of Western success, with the same names consistently at the top.
I'm Laura Davies, and this is my US Open.
The formality of the final putt. And Betsy King had won her first US Open.
At that time, Asian golfers were almost invisible in the top ranks. Sure, there were a few standouts like Japan's Hisako Chako Higuchi, who won the LPGA championship in 1977, and Ayako Okamoto, LPGA Player of the Year in 1987. But these were rare exceptions. For the most part, Asian golfers struggled to break through into the elite level of the sport.
She's an all-time pioneer for women's golf in Japan.
To win a major championship in the U.S. The success that she's had and what she's done for international golf is renowned.
One of those people that paved the way for others.
Ayako Okamoto retired from the LPGA Tour in 1997. Ayako Okamoto was born the daughter of farmers in Hiroshima, Japan, and grew into a multi-sport star, excelling, and in 1982, less than 10 years after first picking up a club.
But then, something changed. It wasn't obvious at first, but soon it became clear that a new era in women's golf was on the horizon. In the late 1990s, everything changed when Se Ripak burst onto the scene in 1998. Winning the US Women's Open as a rookie, it wasn't just a personal triumph. It was the start of a revolution. Her victory sparked a golf craze in South Korea, inspiring a new generation of girls to pick up the sport. This moment wasn't just a win for Pak. It marked the beginning of a wave of Asian talent that would soon dominate the world of women's golf. Pak's influence was massive. Players like Inbi Park, So Yeon Ryu, and Sung Hyun Park, also called the Se Ripak's kids, all credit Pak for inspiring their careers. Before her, no one could have predicted that South Korea would one day become such a powerhouse in women's golf. So what can the rest of the world do to catch up with these golfers? Let's break it down. What really makes these Asian golfers stand out? While many American and European golfers are celebrated for their power, Asian golfers, especially those from South Korea, have taken a completely different approach. They have focused on perfecting precision. This isn't just a theory, the stats speak for themselves. Interestingly, none of the top 10 players for scoring averages on the LPGA Tour are also in the top 10 for driving distance. So why does this matter? In golf, being able to hit the ball far can be impressive, but accuracy is what ultimately wins games. As golf legend Lee Trevino once said, "There is no such thing as a natural touch. Touch is something you create by hitting millions of golf balls." For Asian golfers, this philosophy defines their training. They practice tirelessly to develop that perfect touch, and it's paying off. This relentless focus on precision, combined with a remarkable work ethic, has become the foundation of their dominance on the LPGA Tour. But there's more to it than just hard work. It's a shift in how the game is played. While power may grab headlines, these golfers have proven that precision is just as important. Their approach has redefined what it means to succeed on the course, and their impact is undeniable. As we move forward, it's clear that the story of Asian golfers goes beyond distance or strength. It's about mastering the art of consistency. Stay tuned as we explore how these players continue to change the game. Take In-Bee Park, for example. Her calm, steady presence on the course and flawless putting have made her one of the most consistent players on the tour. Jin Young Ko, known for her pinpoint accuracy and mental toughness, has earned the title of LPGA Player of the Year multiple times. And it's not just South Korea leading the charge. Thailand's Arya Yutanugarn and Japan's Nasa Hataoka are proving that Asian golfers excel not only in technique, but also in managing the mental challenges of professional golf. The question is, how do they cultivate this mental edge? The answer lies in their upbringing. Raised in environments where discipline and perseverance are instilled from a young age, they learn to thrive under pressure. Golf's rise in Asia, especially in South Korea, started after the 1988 Seoul Olympics, when sports became as important as school. Families, schools, and even the government began pushing kids to be great in sports. Including golf, junior golf programs were created, and young athletes trained as hard as students studying for important exams. Golf wasn't just a game, it was seen as a way to achieve something big. But here's where the story gets even more interesting. It wasn't just the golfers who were dedicated. Behind many of them were parents who pushed their children to unimaginable lengths. Take In-Bee Park's story, for example. Her father didn't just encourage her, he pushed her to be her best. He woke her up at 5:30 in the morning to run up and down 15 flights of stairs to build her endurance. And practicing in the freezing cold? Some say she stayed out so long that icicles formed in her hair. This level of commitment wasn't rare, it was expected. Parents saw their children's success in sports not just as a dream, but as a smart investment for their future.
At the age of 19, In-Bee Park.
She should be very proud. Tradition on the LPGA Tour.
And here's the result. A generation of golfers who are not only talented, but mentally tough, disciplined, and ready to dominate. But here's the question. Can the rest of the world match that level of commitment? Stick with us, because this story of dedication and excellence is far from over. Here's something that is hard to ignore. It's not just South Korea leading the charge in women's golf. Across Asia, the same incredible story is unfolding. Families are making huge sacrifices to give their daughters the best chance to succeed. Some even pack up their entire lives and relocate to countries like the United States, Australia, or New Zealand, where the training facilities are superior. And when the cold winter months close the golf courses back home, large groups of golfers and their coaches migrate to warmer climates to keep practicing without missing a single swing. But let's not sugarcoat it. This isn't just about hard work. What's really happening is a shift in the sport. It has created a new generation of golfers who come to the LPGA Tour not just skilled, but deeply experienced. While many American golfers probably start their careers with limited competitive experience, their Asian counterparts often step onto the international stage as seasoned pros, already battle-tested in tough leagues like the Korean LPGA Tour. What is next? The rise of Asian female golfers is far from slowing down. Their training programs are getting even better. And with the sport booming in countries like South Korea, we're about to see a flood of new talent hit the golf scene. The future of women's golf is not just bright, it's being rewritten by Asia, inspiring the next generation to rise even higher. And the rest of the world? They're watching closely, wondering how they can possibly catch up. Is this rise of Asian golfers something to celebrate, or is it a wake-up call for the rest of the world to step up their game? We'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next video.